Hey there. You're watching the Jessa Channel on YouTube. I'm Jessa, and today I am here with more Kettle Falls. This is Rainbow. This is The Sims 2 with all expansion and stuff packs, and we are making our own neighborhood, Kettle Falls. And you can see the waterfalls here, the aforementioned falls, part of the kettle. We're working in this episode on placing trees and lots and Piggy! Yay! Mr. Piglet comes to visit. Hello, Mr. Piglet. How you doing? You're awesome. You can fly. Teach me your secrets, Mr. Piglet. So, one of you wonderful people commented down below in the previous episodes that Mr. Piglet was our new choo-choo train, which I thought was quite funny. Because in Akenthop, our previous neighborhood, there was a choo-choo train that would show up. And yes, I'm an adult woman who says choo-choo train, and I don't care. So, but anyway, it would come up and I would yell choo-choo train every time. And now it's Mr. Piglet. Going to our teapot. There's about to be a teapot disaster. Let's see what happens. Will they survive? I just gotta take a picture of this. It's too funny. Impending. I don't know what's gonna happen. Is he just gonna clip through? Is he gonna disappear? Are the aliens gonna take him? Let's see. Ah! Narrowly diverted. And then he runs into a tree and pops. Okay, so that's Kettle Falls. Welcome to the Jessa Channel. So, a couple things to share with you in this episode. First one is I want to thank Hafi, and I will tell you who that is. She's a wonderful mesher and modder, and I found this bridge that she converted from The Sims 3 to The Sims 2. And do not worry, I will tell you how you can find that right now. I'm going to head down to my downloads folder, down to my neighborhood objects. I'm going to, and I actually made these folders nice and big so you could see. These are all my neighborhood objects. This is, here it is. So, well, I'll just leave it out this way so you can see the name. There it is. So this is very difficult. You're going to have to pause the video and bring it full screen to see this because I cannot pronounce her name. I mean, I still can't say the word sword correctly. See? So, so I don't know how I'm going to pronounce this. Anyway, she has a Dream Width, which is a journal system that a lot of simmers used before a lot of people went over to Tumblr, and some simmers are still using that and LiveJournal. It's called Dream Width, WIDTH. Search for Dragon Valley and Midnight Hollow hood deco, and then maybe type in Sims 2 and Dream Width, and that should get you to the post. And her name is Hafi, Hafis, as in Sam, Eazale. So hopefully that should help you find her. And if a really awesome Team Jessa would like to, someone from Team Jessa would like to come into the comments and drop a link, that would be much appreciated. And you might be saying, who's Team Jessa? I want to be on Team Jessa. Well, don't worry. You already are on Team Jessa. So if you happen to find the link to this, to direct link it down below, I would appreciate it. Or you can Google it. So today we're working on trees. What we did in the last episode is we put trees that were lower poly, in other words, lower polygons, out on the outskirts. Lower polygons means the trees are mushy. They are not pretty up close, like so. Look at that. Behold the ugly. That's not a tree. That's something somebody threw up. We don't want those really close to our house, but they're important because if we put a bunch of trees that had a lot of detail and definition, high poly trees, all over our neighborhood, I don't know. I think my computer would blow up. I don't know what would happen, but I don't want to find out. So I have a lot of custom trees here that when you get close are still quite nice. Have good form. Those are the ones we want to have close to our lots. Because, no one sim is going to be looking at this tree over here, So, in order to know where we're going to put our trees, we're now in lot placing phase. Before we go into lot placing phase, I'm going to tell you one more thing about the geography of our neighborhood. I'm going to scroll out to let you know. This hood, as I told you, is my first river hood. Normally I do islands that are considered in the ocean. This is my first Riverside island. And this is one small slice of a very large river. These are two mountain sides that this river over the millennia has carved its way through, leaving behind this very tidy little island for us to enjoy. In my mind, there are, in Akanthop, our previous neighborhood, which was also an island, when we talked about events that were happening off of the island in the greater wide world, we called that the mainland. Things that were happening for the mainland. This sim came in on the train from the mainland, or the train goes back and forth from the island to the mainland twice a day. What are we going to use now with our little island world? Well, this direction with our lighthouse is north. And I consider in my imagination that upriver is north. And upriver is a largish city with a city council, which is going to be responsible for populating our new river island. They're going to put out a flyer that asks intrepid Sims and adventurers who wish to forge a new life to come down and populate Kettle Falls. Now, the story behind Kettle Falls is that this island was once a thriving community. And that's why farmland still exists, trees and neighborhood deco are still here. But one night, and no one knows what happened, one night, every single resident, from the smallest baby to the oldest elder and their pets, disappeared. Yep, just disappeared. No one knows what happened. But could it possibly have to do with this? I don't know. And no one was around to say what happened because even people within our observatory here, Mountaintop Observatory, scientists disappeared as well. And there was no sign of struggle. People just, sometimes the television was still on, sometimes the shower was running, sometimes there was food cooking on the stove. It was as if people were going about their day and boom, disappeared. And this created such a superstition about this area that the Upriver City Council decided to come in and demolish all the houses just in case there were ghosts or whatever within, and just quarantine the whole area. Perhaps that was maybe 100 years ago. Let's say maybe 100, maybe 150, maybe 200. But after a time, people were getting pretty crowded in the big city, upriver. And people felt that they were brave enough to come down here. Nothing had been heard, and have been asking the Upriver City Council to break the quarantine and allow people to move in. And the City Council has finally agreed, provided they can wash their hands of the whole affair if they disappeared into the clouds again. If the residents here just up and disappeared. That leads us downriver. Downriver is guarded by the Lady of the River. This fantastic statue which is some neighborhood deco that I believe came with, I think it was Apartment Life. You can test my knowledge. I think it was Apartment Life. So in any case, tell me if I'm wrong in the comments or right. She is our watcher of the river. And it's actually a superstition that no boat ever goes down river this way. They never go around this way. Never. They always go down this way. They come around here. They say their blessing as they're passing to the Lady of the River, because it has been foretold that should she not receive her blessing, you and your crew shall perish in the dangers of downriver. Perhaps there's whitewater downriver, rough sailing, and perhaps there's even a kind of Bermuda Triangle effect that if you haven't said your prayer, some boats even just disappear. And sailors are a superstitious lot. So there's the background of our geography. We have our new bridge here, and now it's time to get started in placing some lots. So this episode may be mostly placing lots to give us some placeholders to work with before we start placing our trees. Let's see how fast it takes us to do it. So, as you can see here, I have no lots to place, just our regular Maxis lots. But a lot of these sizes, definitely, Maxis did not make sizes that fit here, or here, or here. I'm going to be using custom lots, and I'm going to show you how I install custom lots without having to close the game, install them, and open the game again. So you'll notice we have Kettle Falls, which when we finish Kettle Falls, we'll christen her with a nice picture of our neighborhood. But I have no other neighborhoods installed, as you can see. So, over here, Sims 2. So I'm going to show you in my teleport, I have a lot of files. These are files that show up when you use Clean Installer to install a lot. This is Clean Installer, and it's how you install lots. I'll leave that for someone else to show you how to do that. I won't spend this episode talking about that, but basically I installed all of these residential lots and all of these community lots. And what they are very tiny lots, up to the tiniest you can go, which is 1 by 1, all the way up to 5 by 1 lengthwise and 5 by 1 this way. You'll see what I mean. These lots are available from Mod The Sims. You can go and grab them for yourself and add them into the neighborhood as you wish. So I have installed all these lots, but what you might think is you have to close the game, but they're not showing up here. The way you get them to show up is simply switch to a different hood. Doesn't matter if you make a hood, since we don't have any, or you already have another hood like Pleasant View or something like that. Just switch hoods, basically. So I'm going to create a new custom neighborhood, and I'm going to call this and this is a neighborhood I always keep. I always keep a secondary copy of my hood that's completely blank. And I use it for moving lots around using, oh goodness, I blanked out the name of it. And you all know what I'm talking about, most of you. Blanking out. Blanking. Not mods, programs. Hood replacer. And not hood replacer, that's not right. Nope. I'll get there. Lot adjuster, there it is. So, lot adjuster is, along with hood replacer, is great too. Is a program written by the late Mutilda, which allows us to move lots around where they do not normally go, and including where there are no roads, for example. Normally you can only put a lot on a road. With lot adjuster, we can put a lot all the way over here and it would be functional. It's a neat little program. In any case, this is a copy of our Kettle Falls, completely blank. This is what Kettle Falls looked like as it was birthed. completely butt naked and ready for the world. So anyway, now when we head over here, you'll see all the lots have showed up. So there's a little trick for you. There's no need, especially when you have as much custom content. I looked at my custom content folder. I will tell you, I do not lie. I have 14 gigs of custom content. Yeah, I'm proud. Okay, so now when you want to go back, just go back into your regular hood and the lots will be there. And loading up a hood is a whole lot faster than starting the game and restarting it if you have as much custom content as I do. Okay, so now we have our lots and we can begin to place them. The trick is to find the lot I'm looking for. 1 by 5. So what I'm looking for right now is the community lot 1 by 1. That's the residential lot 1 by 1. Ah, there we go. The community lot 1 by 1. So let's start by placing, actually before we do that, let's start by placing the most important lot, the central lot. Trying to decide, yeah, which way I wanted to have this facing. So this is going to be Central Park. This is just a placeholder name. It's not going to be its final name. It's just to tell us what it is. This is a mod that I have in that allows you to see the name of the lot when you hover over it. Its file location, which is very helpful sometimes when you need to find out which lot it is to work with it in Lot Adjuster, or it's just a handy bit of information to have. That mod, I have the foggiest where I got it from. If someone could help me out with that one, please, I would appreciate it. Okay, so because it would, when I don't have any idea where it came from, then it's a good idea for me not to waste time in the episode searching my downloads folder for it, because I could be in there for hours. Okay, so just gonna make sure. Nope, that's residential. I thought I was making a mistake. That's community. Okay, so these business lots, I'm gonna all have them facing in towards each other, and you'll see why later on. Let's call this one Business District 01. And then I'm going to copy this part and place again. Business District number 3. Business District number 4. It's important for me to know where these lots are so that I know where I'm going to be putting trees and where I'm not. I'm going to have 2 lots that are purely for keeping utility sims on. I'll explain a little bit more about that later, but basically I have a sim which represents our bank. He basically holds all the money to the bank, and he's the sim you borrow from. His name is Bank Sim. That's his only job. He isn't playable. He never leaves his lot. That's a residential lot. And I usually just sort of stick it somewhere in the hood that I don't plan on. We'll put him back here. And we'll put, and I call this the Bank Sim. And then one more that I'll stick in back here behind the business lot. Actually, let's see if I want to put this here. We'll put this back here. This is what I call our government sim. If we borrow money, for example, or pay taxes, we pay it to this sim. I'm going to turn this lot around so the exit is over here. Out of the way, hidden in the back. We're going to call this the government. The government sim. Gotta pay our money to the government. These lots are never played. I only go there to basically load them up with money and use them for my economy. They need to be on separate lots because I don't want their funds intermingling. All I do is put a bunch of trees around on this lot, and it looks as if it's just a little park. That's all. Next. We're going to put in some parkside lots. These lots I imagine to be like the local tavern. Maybe, some kind of, community like the library, the bank, maybe the bank and the library on one lot. Parkside 02. I'm looking right now, I'm thinking about how I want things to look. Do I want this to be an additional building, or do I want it to kind of be some trees? I think we're going to have that be trees. Let's find another community 1x1 lot. This is Parkside 03. This is another community lot. Final community lot, well, actually there's a couple more over here. Another community lot is the second largest lot in the hood. It's funny that Maxis calls these lots small, 3x2, and I think they're gargantuan after getting used to small lots. I mean, oh no. Okay, so our church is going to be, this time around I'm going to try and do a community lot church, which I've never done before. All of my churches have been residential lots in which the vicar or reverend or pastor lives on the lot with the church. That means that we need a lot for our vicar. He's going to have a very small little I'm just trying to think of what size I want to go with. I think this one. One by 4, 4x1, 1x2. That's community lot. There we go. So I feel like the vicar should be right next to his flock, as it were. And it won't let me put one here. Let's see, nope. Yeah, actually I remember that. That's the case. You can't put those at the end, even for Maxis, when it's with the Maxis road layout. Not with these defaults that we have in. That is the case. So, here we go. The vicarage. As you see these lot sizes that I'm putting down, you can feel free to go ahead and begin to think of lots that would work well here. I will be taking submissions for lots if you decide that, and in fact, one of you wonderful people whose name I'm not remembering off the top of my head offered me some lots, and I said, sure thing, absolutely. And please do not be too upset if I don't use them. It doesn't mean that I didn't like your lot. It just means I'm looking for the right lot with the right fit. But all of you are welcome to submit lots. Okay, so just for ease of use, I'm putting a 3x1 here to save me a little typing. But I may end up putting like a 2x1 and then a 1x1, or maybe 3 1x1s. But these are essentially going to be homes here. We're just going to call this Riverside 01. And Riverside 02. That's because I want this to be trees. I would like one of these to be a park, a small play park. I'd like these to be houses. So let's make a play park right here, because I like because if we put a play park out here, it's right next to the riversides. It's kind of like out over here. I feel like parents would want to have their kids right nearby where they could see them and be within sight of the house. So this is going to be a little 1x1 park. So if you want to get cracking on making me a 1x1, a pretty little 1x1 park, go right ahead. And that's another reason why I like, which direction do I want this? I feel like these should all face the river because that's the best view. Riverside playground. This will just be empty for now. I mean, if we decide we want to put another house in there, I don't want every single space taken up right away. I want there to be room to expand. So I know that there's going to be houses here. I'm going to put some trees right in there. So I have to kind of get used to memorizing where things are. That's what I was looking for. So let's start putting in some residential placeholders. Residential 0, 1, and we'll do the same here. I'm going to put one like this. 02. And a 1x1 lot next to it. That took a little fiddling. Okay, so trees, trees, trees. I've always liked having a kind of, yeah, right there, a kind of bed and breakfast type, oh goodness, what's the word for it? A word where people come and like a temporary hotel type place. And where people can come and rent a room. good for single Sims who haven't got enough money to get a house, even though houses are still gonna be kind of cheap here, but still, you know, don't have enough money, down on their luck. Kind of like, you know, there needs to be a place in town where things are a little bit run down. That's gonna be over here, right behind the business district. Maybe this whole area in here is gonna be our little rundown area. So with that in mind, let's put a... I like the idea of putting a kind of, put a 2x1 here, or maybe even a 3x1. One by 4, 4x1, 2x1. That's a community lot. Missing some. Oh, okay, there we are. It's like, I know I have more than those. That's community lot. Yeah, that's not the one I want. This might be a little long. I'm going to place it because I have a thought as to how I want that house to be. I want there to be parking in the back. So that's why it's so long. So we'll just call this, I know, the flop house. And, you know, it's just sort of... And I might end up moving it over here. Can I move lots? Can I? I think I can. I haven't moved a lot in a long time. The flop house. Yeah, I want it back here. And then I'm going to delete that so I don't confuse the heck out of myself as to what that lot is in there. Okay, so, there will also be... somewhere back in here, a little, sorry, trying to think of the words, sometimes, and I'm a native English speaker, if you can believe that, like a garbage dump, or a place where you can go and put your trash and, your used things and have other Sims come and buy them. And that is a little... very tiny 1x1 lot. Actually, no, I take it back. It's a 2x1 because I need a place for that one, for whoever's going to live there to live, as well as keep all their junk. A kind of hoarder lot. I keep, you know what I'm doing? I'm pushing Control A to select all out of habit. And that was residential number 4, I think? Yes. And actually, let me rename this if I can. And call it, the dump. All right. Finally, over here, we're going to have... The Lightkeeper's house is going to be very small, so I really think it's going to be this 1x1 spot. Here, nope, that's the community. That's the residential. This is the Lightkeeper's house. And I also feel like there is something, and I'm unclear as to what it is, to be absolutely honest, back here. Like, so I'm just going to put a placeholder. As to what it is, I think I'm seeing it as some sort of, when people come to town, it's like a train station slash little shops slash, it's like the tourist center. So let's call it that. And it might end up being a couple of lots, 3 1x1s. And one more thing I just thought of. This, I'm going to change the name, and it's going to be the Historical Society. One thing that I do think we need quite a lot, actually, that I'd kind of forgotten about, should probably go right here, is that's a 2x1, is we need some sort of government. I love having a government, some sort of council hall or the town hall or something of that nature. So let's put that in. I'm thinking right here. That just seems like the place for it to be. So that is a 1x. I think I want the council hall to be pretty small. Community lot. The town hall. It'll be a very beautiful, grand building. Well, how grand can you get on a 1x1? But believe me, I'm gonna try. And the reason why I don't want it very big is there's not very much that you do on it. People will be able to go in there, maybe buy a little something, but it's not like a place where you really hang out. It's mostly for stories. Okay, so I think we have enough to start with for now. Of course, later on, as you expand, like, for example, I haven't put anything over here. I'm aware of that. I'm not sure. I think there's probably just gonna be houses here. So let me just put that in, just for a placeholder. Residential 05. There'll be nice townhomes along this side. Back here, I think is probably going to be maybe a couple of well-to-do homes and a very nice, either another park or perhaps some sort of upscale restaurant with a view, because obviously this is a very nice view off this way down the river to the south. So not going to do anything with that. I think what I will do, though, is to note that back here are my higher end houses. And there'll only be room for two, either one house, and I think I might be able to squeeze a house in there. That's quite nice. So a couple of houses here, one, possibly 2 houses here, because just because a house is small doesn't mean it can't be considered more high end. We can have it go out this way. We'll have 2. That's what we'll do. We'll have 2 2x1s going this way. Most of this episode is me trying to find the 2x1s. All the different lots. Okay, so this is residential number 6, I think. Yes, and Presidential number 7. And I will just go ahead and make this a restaurant. Since I thought of that idea, let's turn this like that. And we'll call this Riverside Restaurant. And did I put that? Yeah, that is. I wanted to make sure I had used the community lot. Okay. So I had mentioned this in the beginning of the first episode, that my whole plan with this lot, this location, was to make things really, really small and not overwhelming. And, you know, so I wouldn't have to feel like I have all these houses to play and everything is so big, it's overwhelming. And the more I look at this area here, the more I think I might make this some sort of town where the important buildings are. Instead of having this be a a city hall, I might have this be like the city hall, the library, the historical society, and the visitor center all in one. Actually, though, the visitor center is going to be down here. I do know that. So I might make this 3x3 lot be a kind of all-in-one community place. We'll see. In any case, let's start placing some trees. This episode is probably running a bit long. I don't use a timer, so I have no idea. I just go by how long it feels. What's the main tree that I want to use throughout the hood? I am very partial to these really deep green cottonwood trees. This one and this one. Let's start out with this bad boy. Working along the river. Another one of you left a really wise comment that nature grows things in odd numbers, like clumps of 3. Very true. So placing these in clumps of 3. That tree I don't like so close to the edge. I'm going to put a lower tree there. Plus, the restaurant wouldn't want their view ruined. They'd be all mad. They'd write the council. The council will be the elder council for me. I'm going to put just one there. Just because I love doing an elder council. It gives my elders something to do. How about back here? 1 and 2, just to be difficult. I'll just do 2 here. Be contrary. I feel like the farmer would maybe want something lined up. Let's take another tree for that. This is a birch tree. Yes, this is what I want, smaller. Okay, for this one, I'm going to have this be a little bit more organized, kind of blocking off the farmer's property. And along here. Although, because this is kind of lower end of town, I'm going to take this out and make some of these trees look run down. Yeah, how do you... a rundown tree. But I mean something that doesn't look quite so prettified, you know. This I'm just going to make like a big clump. And intersperse with some of these wonderful trees. This is the Ghost set by Javiera. I've mentioned that in a previous episode. If you'd like to know where something is from, then feel free to ask. At a Where Can I Find forum, the best one is at Mod The Sims. And then like with a this is called an orangutan tree. Cool. And I'm gonna just kind of stick this in the middle. Let me get down close so I can see what I'm doing on this one. I don't want too much clipping between the... There we go. That's cool. Oh, see how it's coming together? Look at that picture! Picture time. That's cool. Awesome. Okay. You see, that's the thing that happens when you take time with your neighborhood is you just get picture opportunities when you're not even trying. You're just scrolling around and going, wow, picture time. Okay. So for this, I'm gonna go for this tree here. This oak tree. And use these oaks along the riverside. Nice and tight in there. And actually not all oaks. I'm going to throw another type in there. There. Oaks along here. Along the back side of Riverside. And also, that looks too ordered. That's not correct. Oops. It's tough to try not to... It's important not to... Ooh, a copse. Maybe kids go in there and play. And I'm going to go for this ash to break up some of that color. One of you said that I was the Bob Ross of neighborhood decorating. And I just keep... I love Bob Ross. Like, with an unhealthy passion. So I thought that was a fantastic compliment. Thank you very much. Yay, Bob Ross. Okay. Well, things are coming along quite nicely. Look at that. Starting to look like a right neighborhood. Oh, yeah. So this is, I'm going to use to fill in over here where I'm putting my more dark things. And I want to put like 1, 2, 3 in there. And then have one other tree that's like either this one or this one. That's the orangutan tree. That's the chestnut tree. I'm going to put one down, and then I'm going to do something to kind of flesh this out. I'm going to put another one down right on top of it. Just turn it a little bit until it looks kind of, see, like that. And boom, you have one big tree. So that's cool. Where else do I want to flesh out some trees? I like that idea, so let's put a couple more of these chestnut trees down in large clumps. And as tempting as it is to really go crazy with putting all kinds of different trees down, we want to save room for other neighborhood deco. We'll make a chestnut grove here. Maybe another one back there, and a third one back here. That's cool. Boy, that really makes a difference. Okay. So then we have these trees running along. Let's use these to fill out a little bit. Just plunking them in a few different places here. Maybe real close to the road there. You might find that when you get into house decorating that you've put a deco tree right in your lot and you have to go out and move it. Sometimes I just like to throw one in here. It's just to kind of, I don't know, tie the hood together in a way. And then down here I'm going to do one where I put one right on top of each other. So it looks like a wider tree, like that. Isn't that cool? Maybe 2 trees growing tightly intertwined. Sounds like some sort of love poem or something. Tightly intertwined. Oops, that one actually landed 2 together. There we go. If you think it needs something, let me know. And also, I'm going to do another little trick to allow it to flesh out the trees without using every single high poly or high detail tree. Here I'm just making a kind of around the outskirts, a sort of, I think these are called copse, C-O-P-S-E, as if they've come down. I'll put a few in the hills too. And I'm just sort of filling out space here at this point with the ones I really want to have be my backdrop, my filler tree. Is that this one? No. Once again, put a couple just down low on each side of the mountain. Or I should say hillside. Put a little copse in here. Tell me if I'm using that word wrong. It's entirely possible that I am. But I think that is like a clump of tree is a copse. Then over here, I think we're going to go with this fantastic cottonwood tree. Although I already did that one, so let's go for this. Yep. Little group of oaks growing over here. Braving the hardiness, braving that river wind. Okay, let's review our handiwork again. Oops, I'm always going to this mountainside. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. There's some empty space over here, which I'm going to leave and see if we can put a decoration in there of some sort. Some like a billboard or a sign or something. You know, once you've put your trees down, if you want to put something else in that spot, don't be afraid to pick them up and move them. And in fact, I'm going to do that right now because... Nope, here. Because I'm going to take a few of these trees and transplant them over here. There we go. Now, the final thing I'm going to do is every once in a while, I'm going to add in an old, ugly Maxis tree. Why? Because I'll show you. Because I'm crazy. That's why. So, this is the walnut tree, one of my favorite Maxis trees. And you have all this high poly, but this tree is never going to really be seen in detail from the neighborhood. It's hidden among the other trees. So I'm going to throw a couple of these in here, just right like back here, and using the old turning trick again, stick a couple in. It's almost as if they're a little farther back and can't be seen. That's a bit too big for that clops. As another way to give yourself some detail without costing your computer. You can tuck in the quote-unquote uglier trees among the prettier trees. Like here is a perfect example. One right in there. And then let's take some smaller trees like these, all the deciduous ones down here. This oak tree is another one. So as long as it's tucked in towards the back, just like one or two trees, there's three in there. So you can't even see really their tree, what the heck are the trunks? Tree trunks, that's what they're called, Jessa. Big old tree trunks. And also the other reason why it's important to do this is because for seasons, when it turns to fall, these trees will turn, but these trees, I don't know if their season's enabled, probably not. So, it's important to have some Maxis trees among your custom trees, or your neighborhood will never have that nice fall feeling when it actually turns fall. And it's even cooler because when the trees turn, it's like little peaks, little tiny views is what I mean, peaks of color, splashes of color amongst your other trees. Just, it really is very nice. I sound like some sort of interior design person. I'm like, a splash of color amongst your other trees. It's so ridiculous. Oh well. Gotta make fun of yourself. Okay, so a couple oak trees in here. And I'm just randomly grabbing trees that might have the shape I want. Like this birch is really good because it's pointy with all these other trees here. So, these trees are sort of pointy, and the birch tree is sort of pointy. You see where I'm going with that? See the pointy that I'm going with? Okay, good. And lastly, I'm going to fill out this, let's see, what have I not used yet? The willow. The good old willow tree, which really should be by water. I know where willows grow, but we're just going to stick them in here anyway. Hide in the fugly Maxis. Okay. So I think that's going to do it for this episode. Your eyes are probably glazing over at this point. The neighborhood will... All right, so I think in the next episode, I think we're more or less done with trees. I'm going to remove these placeholder trees, which I had last episode. And it'll help me remember to put the trees down for the farmland that you're going to see later on. I'll also do a line of trees along the edge here as well too. But we'll work on the farmland in the next episode. Decorating a hood. This is yet another reason why I made this hood so small. Decorating a hood is a lot of work. a lot of work, and it takes a long time. So the smaller you make it, the faster you can get to actually playing the game with your Sims, as opposed to plonking trees, which is great fun, but you know, you want to be doing that for months, because I have spent months decorating the hood before. I have. Okay, so take you out to show you Kettle Falls, and thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed what you saw, please hit the thumbs up button below. And if you loved it, join the party and subscribe. I'll see you back here for more decorating and Kettle Falls in The Sims 2. And as always, thank you so much for watching.